Hey Shane,
Hey, buddy, how are you?
good. You can hear me better than yesterday.
Much better than yesterday.
No idea what happened. We also had our messages, our DM shut down for 24 hours when they loaded the new platform.
Yeah,
We got a 24-hour block. A bunch of people did, I guess.
yeah. It was an interesting day on Instagram yesterday. It's funny, actually, just before I requested and you accepted, my left ear started ringing. Just not like tinnitus or anything like that. It was just kind of like a little sign for a little download or upgrade or however you want to say it.
Yeah, it's hearing something about your emotional, spiritual state. And
Yeah.
that's what's going to happen. And we're in Pisces. It's a spiritual day. So what does water and spirituality have to do with each other?
Well, I mean, water is everything. It's part of everything. It's been around since the existence of time, and it's made up of the two of the most basic and abundant elements in the world. But
Yeah, so yeah, what are the benefits of water?
well, I mean, what kind of water are you talking about?
Well, I mean, you're H2 water expert.
We've talked about this before. This regular H2O is kind of not what we have been taught that it is. It's a solvent, and when it's not done properly, it's not really providing you with any benefits, and many times it's actually causing more harm than good.
So when we filter water, it becomes H2O, and we
Yep.
should not technically drink H2O. You know what's funny? Back in the clinic days, before I really understood this concept, we used to tell people, go back 13 years ago, eat your water. And that was the way to get out of the dehydration and health issues. Is we tell people to eat their water we just knew it worked, but I didn't have the science back then to back it up. But you know, why is it that H2O is a solvent and regular water or normal filtered water or reverse osmosis water, why should it not be drinking? What's the problem with it?
Because it's not structured properly. Not only is it not going to absorb into your body in a case like reverse osmosis or distilled water. I always say if you don't filter your water, you become the filter for your water. And that stands true. At the very least, you do need, if you're going to drink water, make sure it's at least filtered. But if it's not structured properly and you take the minerals out of it as well, then your body becomes the minerals for your water. And, a lot of times you hear people saying, oh, my pee is clear, so I must be really hydrated. No, that's actually not the case. That means the water that you're drinking is going right through you. You're peeing your hydration out. And I do agree. And I understand that even 15 years ago, it would make more sense eating your water. However, the way that things have advanced with the way that they grow fruit and vegetables now, I would kind of disagree with that.
Unless you're eating farm grown organic, right? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, watermelon nowadays in North America, in Canada, the watermelon up here does not have seeds, and so I mean, that water, that structured water that is absorbing into your body better, is also full of glyphosate, which is going to cause cancer, destroy your gut, among many, many things.
Yeah. So that's a good point. So for eating our water, and then this is one of the issues that we have. A lot of people are against carnivore is a big thing, and I have no problem with whatever you want to eat. As a matter of fact, our bodies are designed to even eat the shittiest stuff for decades and still not really cause a problem. So it's like people are like 1 year on a diet. They're like, it's so bad for your body can't handle it. Well, you've been eating that way for 30 years. You changed 1 year and you healed yourself. That's a pretty good machine. That means there's nothing wrong with the machine. It's that the machine works really well. And I don't encourage eating bad food and stuff like that, but it's the chemicals. And as we eat organic food, if it's truly organic and if it's grown at a farm, and especially if that farm is close to you, all of those contributory factors, because it's not just hydration, it's not just minerals, it's local minerals, it's local handlers, it's how far that produce travels.
Yeah, like when the first day that I got to Kasamaya Khan in Tulum with you guys, what we did was the honey ceremony. You know, it gets you adapted to the area that you're in, and it's awesome.
That's what we're
You
doing
know,
right now. Actually, tonight, 6 p.m. honey ceremony.
yeah. You don't need to make me jealous of not being there. I already am jealous enough. I wish I traded my trip last week for us coming down to Costa Rica. But you know, lesson learned. It is what it is. Next time for sure. It looks like you guys are having an amazing time. That storm last night looked phenomenal.
Yeah, it's actually just clearing up. We had this unbelievable rain. It was like,
Yeah.
yeah, it was just like monsoon type. It was really cool actually.
No, it looks amazing. I love not only when it's a storm like that. I love the rain. I mean, live in the Pacific Northwest, you kind of have to learn to love the rain. But you know, when it's a storm like that, the electricity from that storm, like it was like actually again when we were in Tulum and we were in the ocean and there's that massive storm above us and like you could feel these shifts happening and it was really cool.
So somebody asked Stephanie Neros, currently detoxing from H2 filtered water.
Yeah.
So she's one of your clients, right? So says, will drinking higher alkaline levels increase the body's pH? See, this is a really deceiving topic. Because okay, I'll explain something because I've been educating people in urine therapy. It was funny because Cynthia went down with a fever, 103. She drank her urine yesterday. Within an hour and a half, fever gone. She's functioning. And I said, you got to do it again in the evening. She didn't do it. By the morning, 101. And I'm like, okay, do it again. She took it. Within 30 minutes, it was down. So, but what I was talking about was there's a misconception on how the body's pH, like our blood pH. If it changes even a little bit, we're dead. We're really sick. So when we say adjusting the pH, we're talking nutritional pH, which we have a pH on our skin.
Mm-hmm.
We have one in our mouth.
Yeah.
We have one in our stomach. We have one in our small intestine, one in our large intestine, one in our bladder, one in our kidneys, and they're all different.
Yeah.
And the blood is constant. So what the blood is doing, and on our skin too, the blood is the regulator between them. It's the filter between all of them, and it has to be constant. So the body will use any amount of energy to keep your blood pH the same. So if you're not taking care of it, your body has to work harder to maintain the pH in the blood.
Yeah.
Now that's where the energy draw goes.
Yeah.
And this is where people, their common argument is when they talk about drinking alkaline water. Alkaline water has one benefit. It'll open up the flap in your stomach. After that, there's no other benefit to drinking alkaline water because it's going in a 1 pH environment.
Yeah.
That
1.8 pH hydrochloric acid in your stomach. It's going to balance that out real quick.
Yeah.
And you know, your blood needs to be between 7.365 and 7.465. If it's anything outside of that, and that's a tenth of the pH scale, you're going to be sick. And so, you know, and then that's why people think that, you know, it is 7.365 to 465 is slightly alkaline. But you know, what your body really does want is a balance between the energy that it's using and the exhaust that comes from the energy that it's using. And that's why hydrogen water is, does as well as it does. And, you know, what's really good to see is the amount of people.
So what is the exhaust? I mean, for people who are tuning in, what does the exhaust mean?
So the exhaust, okay, so there's the energy production that's called ATP, adenosine triphosphate, and that's the life force and energy. That's what fuels your body. The exhaust is what's called oxidative stress, reactive oxygen species, and in particular, the hydroxyl radical. And so that is at an all-time high because our bodies are using energy at an all-time high. And on top of that, our bodies, because our guts are damaged due to the glyphosate on our foods, the air that we're breathing, the food that we eat, the drinks that we drink, our bodies aren't creating enough hydrogen as they normally do endogenously inside your body as they should to keep up with the overload of the exhaust that's being created from the extra energy being used, which then means that you get into a vicious cycle, because then again your body's using more energy to try to keep up, and eventually you're going to run out of that fuel. Right.
Okay, so this is what we mean by this, and so what happens is that our bodies are trying to balance itself all the time, and it's a metabolic function to do so. So in a metabolic function, it's like burning fire in your stove. There's an exhaust, there's something coming off, and that's what we're talking about, is how does your body clear that?
Yep. Yeah, like the exhaust to your car using fuel. Like there's many different examples or analogies that you can use. And for those that drink alkaline water or those that think alkaline water is helping you and helping balance that pH, the problem is you're only scratching the surface. Like if you cut open an apple and let it sit there for half an hour, it's going to turn brown, right? So drinking alkaline water is like cutting that sliver of brown apple off so you get fresh apple again. But if you're not changing the environment in which the apple is in and you let it sit there for another half hour, it's just going to turn brown again. And I think many of us probably know the reason that is because of the oxidation. And it's similar to our body. If you are living in an acidic state, which many people are, you're just turning that apple brown. And so the point is you need to get to the root cause of why you're acidic, why the apple is brown, and that's the oxidation, the oxidative stress. And that comes from the energy that you're using in your body, and your body not having the ability to keep that up or keep up to that.
Okay, so I don't have the money for a machine. The machines go for the price range from a small home one to a large one is what?
$15.95 to $33.95 US. Now that includes tax and shipping, and there's actually a big sale on right now, which is they're 25% off right now.
Okay, well, that's cool. Okay, so the 25% off if you're interested, but let's go to the side I don't have the money. So what water do I drink? How do I make that water I'm drinking good? So I got maybe a clay filter, or I got a Berkey or something like that. What do I do?
So what you would want to do in that case is either there are hydrogen tablets that you can buy, like Dr. Mercola has a great one. However, the cost on that ends up becoming quite high. I would highly recommend getting a portable hydrogen generator, which is only going to cost, $200 or so. I've got a great one that I can recommend. And I brought it with me when I was in Mexico last week. I brought it with me when I'm in Vegas. I always take it with me when I'm traveling. That's another good point to it. But you're going to get years of use out of that. Whereas with the tablets, you're only getting, 30 days use for one person, which with each purchase. So you're going to have to continuously purchase over and over and over. And the problem that I've found with the hydrogen tablets is if they don't dissolve properly, the water, well, one, you're not getting the hydrogen, and two, you're not getting it's going to get this kind of earthy, grosser taste, whereas hydrogen water should taste absolutely phenomenal to you. It should taste like any other water, no water you've ever tasted before.
Well, I've also been using this.
There you go. Oh, the Spirit.
Yeah, so I got to tell you, so we had filtered water here. It's like a Berkey when we came in. We set up we travel with our Alkaviva. So before I was hooked up a couple of days, and then traveling, I take this, I put water in here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually surprised at how good it is. It tastes.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it tastes good, and I can taste and I can feel the hydrogen. Then this is not a bad alternative. I mean, for someone, because you can keep using this over and over again for personal use. It's not a bad alternative. It's like what, $250 or something like that, or
200. It's 200 Canadian.
Oh, 200 Canadian. Also for Americans, that's like $20. No, maybe it's
pretty
That's
much.
like $150
Yep.
American, right?
Yeah, and those I believe are 25% off on the site right now too.
Okay, so that one was actually, the Spirit was actually is interesting because when I travel, you know, one of the things is I go to get, because you can't take the water through the security, and if I'm on a 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 or 10-hour flight, a lot of times I just hoof it. I don't drink anything, and so what I like about this is I get a water like a water that I will drink. Believe it or not, is Evian. I test it out for my body. Evian will work, but because it's not fluorinated, it's not processed, stuff like that. And there's a couple other ones. The Glass Boss is actually pretty good, but I'll put the Evian
but the
there.
Boss doesn't make any glass anymore. It's all freaking plastic.
Yeah, I saw that. So I put the Evian water in there as I want to consume it on the plane.
Yeah.
And I can drink that, and I still don't drink a lot of water anyways.
Yeah.
But I can consume that. I found that to be really good. The other part too is taking a Berkey, or here they have these clay filters. I'll show you them.
Yeah.
They're actually surprisingly good. I mean, I'm actually shocked at how good it is.
Oh.
So
okay.
Yeah, so it's a clay filter.
Nice.
So
the wonderful thing about Mother Nature.
So what it is, it's like a Berkey, but the whole filter is clay, and so I was here. I tested the water, and I'm like, hey, this is actually good. I mean, because the first thing we get here is like, am I going to drink water until the Alkaviva is set up? And it was actually good. And then I put it in the it's called the Spirit, is it?
Yeah, Spirit H2. For those that are asking, that's spirit-h2.com, and the link is or the IG is Spirit H2 Water. And you know what? Someone else mentioned that I heard that those portable ones, the cheap ones, are not good. In many cases, you're absolutely right. This hydrogen water is hitting the market hard, and because a lot more people are talking about it, it's becoming more mainstream, and that's phenomenal to see. However, with what comes with that is people that want to make a quick buck off of that, and yeah, then you do have to be sure of the type of hydrogen generator you're getting, whether it's portable or the one you hook up at your home. And that's where please follow me, message me. I can lead you in the right direction.
I actually appreciated that. It was really handy for the trip because, like I said, normally I don't drink when I travel just because I don't want to.
Yeah.
And this actually made my traveling a lot more functional.
Well,
I can take a lot of supplements because I usually take when I'm traveling, I usually take the fascial fuel, and I don't eat. I travel fasted because because the pressure changes. If you're fasted, when the pressure changes, you don't have the same contraction. It's almost like compartment syndrome, and you get a mini compartment syndrome. And so, like when I'm fasted and I travel, and I use the fascial fuel to do it, then I function at a really high level. It's like a superpower. So the other part too is taking the water from one of those clay machines or a Berkey, putting it in a glass jar, like we had a glass jar with a spout, putting in crystals, like quartz crystals, shungite, and also water for the rocks at the bottom, so that the water, I would fill up the bottom of the jar like this, so there's rocks and crystals, and the water makes its way down to the rocks and crystals, and it comes out okay.
Yep. So I mean, it's going to come out, depending on the crystals that you put in there, it's going to come out at least somewhat structured better, which we talked about earlier with the eating your water. It's structured better, so it enters your cells better. But there's going to be no water that enters your cell better than hydrogen water. Now there's,
Yeah, obviously we got that, but it's like we have all these where we can't, and so like today was we were traveling down here, and I was then thinking, okay, well, how are all the ways that I do this when I'm on the road? I mean, one of the ways is I've got a machine in my luggage, because I only have a backpack. So if you ever see me carrying luggage to an airport, it's because I'm carrying a water machine. I'm carrying like tripod.
you almost fell down the stairs walking up into the plane that because your backpack looked pretty heavy.
Yeah, so that's all I carry. Everything that I own literally fits in that backpack. Everything.
Hey, that's awesome, man. That's a minimalist lifestyle is the way to go.
Yeah.
I respect that a big time.
So okay, so let's talk about the water itself again. Let's get back to the science of it, because we're getting a lot of questions about deuterium depleted.
Yeah. So yeah, deuterium is not something you want in your water, but it's deuterium depleted water. I looked up the actual process of making it. Yeah, it's essentially distilled water, and distilled water is on the same level as reverse osmosis water. So if you're going to do that, the most important thing to do is just make sure, at the very least, you're remineralizing your water. And then, you know, as you mentioned, if you can put crystals or let it run through the crystals or minerals itself, that's an even better way of doing it.
Yeah, and so that's why. So we get a lot of the questions about deuterium depleted water, and I can't see a case where, I mean, there was a point where drinking distilled water was seen as a way to work with certain diseases, but the way I understand the body, I can't see a case where taking away the electrical signaling of the body, which is in the minerals, the 102 minerals that the body needs, is a good thing. So, now we have the water. Now we're going to split the water. That's what the machine does. It splits it. And for people who don't know, let's do a little lesson. How much pH is in water? What's the pH scale?
Well, the pH scale is 0 to 14.
Okay, right? So if I'm getting 9 pH out of the machine, that means 5 pH is coming out of the wastewater.
Secondary. Yeah, secondary hose. It's always going to add up to 14. So whether it's 3 coming out of the main hose, it'll be 11 coming out of the bottom, vice versa. It'll always add up to 14. But again, when it comes to that pH, that's kind of a byproduct of ionized hydrogen water. The key is getting that hydrogen. Again, the alkalinity, especially in ionized water, is not doing anything for your body. It's not affecting any pH at all. Even in comparison to, say, if you added baking soda to your water, or which is sodium bicarbonate, or added minerals to your water to alkalize it that way. It will not buffer the acids in your body. So there's no concern about drinking alkaline water.
So when I go on the acid scale of a machine, and first of all, ionizers are ionizers. Now, the quality of ionization really differs. Like for example, if you don't have a really good pre-filter, like this has a 16-stage pre-filter. So if you don't have a good pre-filter, you'll be ionizing forever chemicals, fluoride. And this is the problem with there's a lot of machines out there that their filter does not take out these chemicals. And if the filter's not taking out these chemicals, you're actually making it worse, not...
the water will be more bioavailable for your body. The last thing that you want to be doing is making arsenic, pesticides, pharmaceuticals, so on and so forth. So the crazy amount of things that are in your water more bioavailable. And this is exactly why I choose Alkaviva as my company of choice for my hydrogen water, because their 16-stage dual filtration is proven, the only one that's proven, to remove 249 contaminants and purify the water before it goes in. And when I say purify, the cool thing about these filters is they actually still leave the minerals in. And again, there's third-party EPA lab-approved testing on the site that proves all this. You can see exactly what it's taking out and what it's not taking out, and that's something that they're very transparent about, because the magic of these machines is it's adding the electricity into it and it's splitting the water and creating that therapeutic hydrogen. But that cannot happen without it being purified first. Cannot.
So we're splitting the water. Now let's go to the acid side. So there's 2 levels of acid that we deal with. One is really good for cosmetics or for cleaning, and like acid level 1, it feels like you've got a facial and got toner. Like it literally feels like I have a facial when I wash my face with it.
Yeah, you can throw your your skin toner away and just use that water. It's great. You mentioned the pH of your skin. Actually, that's a good point about the different pHs of your body, because the pH of your face is different than the pH of your skin on your body.
If I could,
and so
if I could shower in it, I would shower in it. I mean, it's that good. I mean, I have done it where I've taken it in the bathroom for a while and had it hooked up, and then it would put the water and sponge it on because I wanted to see what it was like, right? So, so the idea is that that's really good for cosmetics or for your skin, and skin is your largest organ next to your fascia, which is actually your largest organ. So if you help your body maintain a proper pH balance on your skin, and your skin then by default you're reducing the amount of oxidative stress that you're creating in your body.
Yeah, absolutely. It's you know, how, like I said, the vicious cycle that happens on a regular stance when you don't have one of these machines. It's like the opposite. It's a phenomenal cycle, because you can use that acidic water topically for your skin, and then the hydrogen water, the hydrogen's increasing your ability to keep up with the oxidative stress on the inside of your body.
Get a lot of skin cleaners and toners out of the way. That's like $20-$30 a month.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, 100%. Easy. The amount of
what we did, and by the way, in Lions Bay, we had to force the issue because people would still bring in like sprays and stuff like that. So I took everything out. I put spray bottles in, and you had to fill up the spray bottle, because if I even let the other one in, they'll use it. So then we took the acid level 2. Now that one is for cleaning.
Yeah, that one is you can use acid level 2 on your skin for things like acne, pimples, blemishes. If you have really bad eczema or psoriasis, I just recommend finishing off with the acid level 1. And then another one that Jordan would attest, or can attest to, is when you cut yourself using acid level 2, it'll clear out the cut very easily and help stop the bleeding very quickly. I'm also
cauterizes right away. Jordan cut his thumb with our razor sharp Ginsu swords. His thumb was hanging off like this. We put it back down. We put it in the water, and then we wrapped it up. And within 2 days, you couldn't even see the cut. It was such a sharp cut. Yeah. And I did the same thing. Cynthia did the same thing. Jason did the same thing. There's something about those swords that we use and the thumbs that get it. So
if you like to cook, it's only a matter of time until you slip up once. It's going to happen, right? We're humans. We make mistakes. And so having that there when you need it is huge. You mentioned Cynthia. One thing I always think about with the acid level 2 was cleaning that mirror on the little
we had a mirror. So for everybody to know, we had a mirror in Lions Bay. It's an old antique piece, and there's mirror. Yeah. We had tried. It had all that dark kind of. It's like almost like a cloud, and we had tried to get people to clean it. We tried all kinds of cleaners because it's such a beautiful piece. And Shane came up and installed the filter, and I said, "Well, let's go try it." We first wipe. It took all of the crap off the mirror. So, and that water, when you put it into the spray bottle, it lasts for 5 days. You could spray it for cleaning toilets, for cleaning sinks. I put it in the thing for the mop for the floor.
Yeah.
Because we have a steam cleaner for the floor, but we also have that little hand one. I use it for that, for daily cleaning. Yeah. Clean the counters with it. Clean glass without streaking. So that you take glass cleaner, you take your bleaches and your bleach cleaners, your toilet water cleaners. Yeah. You take all that stuff. That equals literally another roughly, especially at Lions Bay, that's about $80 to $80 a month, roughly there. Yep. So as a person, even as an individual, you're spending $30 a month on that. So you're now at $600. You're at like $600 to $1,000 a year just on cleaning products that go away with using a filter. Yeah,
I mean that's the thing. Is it? Just the drinking water, just having hydrogen water to drink alone is super beneficial to have in your house, 100% worth the investment. But that's where, and again, this is where I really have a passion, is making sure that you're getting all the use. Because, there's 8 different levels that are created with this machine, all at the press of a button, right? So another thing we didn't talk about with the acid level 1 that a lot of people use it for is watering their plants and keeping cut flowers. So like when you get, a bouquet of roses or whatever, using acid level 1 will help them keep a lot longer, and so that's another added value.
We've seen that for sure. Now, somebody said a good question. So if you use Alkaviva, do you still need Irish moss diatomaceous earth? The answer is yes, because the diatomaceous earth is the element of silica. It's the primary element. The rest of it, I've been taking it now for 3 years straight, and it has a lot to do with why my hair is changing color, also why my fascia. Because if you want to go look at 31 benefits of taking diatomaceous earth. You can actually DM us, we can give it to you, or you can actually just go with 31 evidence-based facts about diatomaceous earth. It literally gives your fascia the structural rebuilding tools to rebuild itself. And then the diatoms exfoliate your small intestines. And then the silica is what allows you to absorb the minerals. And right now, the reason why Irish sea moss, and please, if you're taking our supplements and you've been doing it for a long time, do not continue to buy our supplements. I want you to go and get Irish sea moss in the plant form and make it into a gel. Use it in your soups, use it in your smoothies, because your body starts to memorize delivery systems. Like if I tell you, Shane, about your favorite chicken wings, you immediately start thinking. Your body starts salivating. You start creating enzymes, bacteria. That's equivalent for it. So it's a memorized delivery system that gets the body into the function. Yeah. Your body can't do that with a pill. So as great as our supplements are, we want you to move from supplements to natural source. Supplements are there to supplement you until you can do it naturally. Diatomaceous earth is a food ingredient. It's called food grade for a reason. Irish sea moss is a food ingredient, and those are the things we no longer get from our soil. So those are things that should be considered part of your food budget, not considered part of your extra care budget.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. Jeannie, yes, level 1 can be used to clean wood. Pretty much anything in your home, it's phenomenal. And again, when you have the machine, you have an unlimited source of it. So if whatever water it is that you're using for whatever you're using it for, try a different water. Again, it's the press of a button, and that's all it takes to switch between the different levels that you get from the water.
Here's a good one. Somebody was asking about, said throw some light on what you can do when you have OCD tendencies with intrusive thoughts. Okay, so let me tell you about how the body works. Your thoughts are not your thoughts. You have 10% of your cells are human cells, 90% of your cells are bacterial, viral, and parasitic. So we are a government of our body, and when our hormones or serotonin, dopamine, oxytocin, testosterone, estrogen, etc. are balanced, we have good thoughts, and they're not racing. When our body's dealing with stress, oxidative stress, or the hydroxy radicals, then you start to have obsessive thoughts. So one of the ways to work with obsessive thoughts is to reduce the stress in the body. And the body produces 10 liters of hydrogen per day. And if you're under even a small amount of stress, it's 5 liters. If you're under a large amount of stress, it's 1 liter to 0. And that means your body's going to have all of these obsessive thoughts because it's your brain and your body's busy doing work.
Yeah. It isn't. There's that balance is gone. So you're using all of the different. You're using all of your energy to take care of everything else. It's again, there's that vicious cycle. And I was actually doing a podcast with a doctor in Idaho this week, and we were talking about testosterone. Testosterone replacement therapy got brought up, and he knows hydrogen quite well. And he took him 15 seconds to find a study that shows that hydrogen will help upregulate or regulate your testosterone levels, and that's hormones in general. And that's one of the cool benefits on top of hydrogen's ability to reduce oxidative stress it helps. It's what's called a cell signaling molecule. So because it's the size that it is, has the ability to get inside, permeate your cells, it'll basically get up on the soapbox, get the bullhorn out, and tell your body what to do. And that's why it helps so much. It opens the NRF2 pathway. It helps people that have the MTFHR gene mutation. And again, it helps get you back to that balanced metabolic state, which is where you want to be.
Yes, absolutely. So what was his take on specifically on the effects on testosterone?
Well, it upregulates. It will actually increase your testosterone. Like I know a lot of men that are on the TRT, testosterone replacement therapy. I've been training. Like I like to lift heavy things up and put them down. And the training plan that I'm on is created as if I was taking 400 milligrams of testosterone, but I don't juice, I walk. It's because of my hydrogen intake, not only its ability to increase my testosterone, but its ability to mitigate lactic acid buildup and increase my recovery. It's incredible.
So if you go, somebody's asking where they can get natural forms of Irish sea moss, go to our website under products and partners and you'll find survivalmoss.com. So somebody asked, what about water with vibrations added to it? Ben Greenfield, hey Ben, has a device that can add vibrations of berberine to a glass of water, which creates ammonium salt, which basically is regulating your blood sugar and glucose levels. So it's helping balance. But if you are vibrating your water, you can produce that. But if your water isn't structured and your water has deleterious chemicals in it, then you're going to have issues still. And you're going to be solving one issue by regulating the hormonal spread from the insulin and how the body processes. But you're going to be using all this energy on the other side to deal with the water that's there. So the idea is, if you are drinking hydrogen-rich water, it's already balancing your nervous system, giving your body the energy. The reason why you have to help your body with berberine is because your body's energy is dysfunctional. If our whole philosophy of Fashion River is why it works. Our whole system is based on give your body the tools, bring it back into a natural balance, and let it do what it's supposed to. By all the biohacking, quite frankly, if you just look at it, the biohackers aren't healthy generally. I mean, they are for a short period of time, but look at them over a long period of time. And I know I've done lab work on like thousands of them, literally thousands of them in the clinic. Yeah. And if you're a biohacker, hear this for what I'm saying. Please do not take this the wrong way. I have been a biohacker since the 80s. When we didn't have tools, we used all kinds of things. I was using sodium loading and depleting. I was using egg ablum and desiccated liver with breath and function work. Back in the 80s when I was bodybuilding, that was the origin of biohacking. Today it's a bunch of machines. And the body can perform better than any machine that man can make, but the body has to have the basic building blocks. One of them is oxygen. The other one is water, the minerals to conduct it. Has to have flow in the body to move it. So give your body all the things that it needs to build with, and then if you need a machine, use a machine. But if you're using a machine in replacement for it, then it's not going to work.
Yeah, machine's just a tool. It's a tool to help you get to where you want to be. I mean, quite honestly, if you're operating at a higher vibrational state, look at the experiment that Emoto did with with just adding vibration to the water, and you're just putting happy, joyful, grateful, love on the water, and you look at the water structure after.
Take the Alkaviva water, take a sound bowl at 432 hertz, put that into the water. There's nothing more. So your question, brain metabolism, is right. Adding vibration to the water changes the way that the body absorbs the water and what information, because water is information. So you're going to change the way that water absorbs and brings into the body, which is super powerful. And thanks for clarifying you weren't just looking for berberine. But yes, vibration to water is super powerful, but your water still has to be good.
Yeah.
Vibration is not going to get rid of the fluorides. It's not going to get rid of the forever chemicals. Vibration itself doesn't mean that you've structured the water. Now, you can vibrate water into structure. That is a true statement. But you want to give your body the same structure. And somebody asked us earlier, using Alkaviva water, is it like taking a mineral spring? And the answer is yes. It's like taking water out of the, because in nature, water swirls. And it swirls in a stream, it swirls and it back swirls. And the sun, the light, the ultraviolet light hits it. That's what gives water its structure. And hydrogenated or ionized water is reproducing that.
Yeah, it's alive water, you know. And when you to add to what you just said about the spring water, I would say yes, the spring water at the top of like the Himalayas type of thing, like the beginning part of it coming down into our water source, and you know, it's going to the top of a mountain and drinking that water.
My husband and I bath and have a speaker by the bath with frequencies going on. Yes, that does change the water. Absolutely. Super powerful. Like, one of the things that I like to do is well, we are water. We're 70% water. Yeah. I play frequency music in the background all the time. If you can get a natural source, it's better, but it still works. I play on my Sonos. I play frequency water, and I'm vibrating my water in my body at a specific frequency. That works really, really well. Yeah. Yes, and Rob said raise the vibration by saying the Ho'oponopono to it. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. We have kids experiment in school. Say good things to one plant, bad things to another plant. What's the mechanism? We're talking to the water.
Yeah. There's for anybody that has Gaia, the more spiritual version of Netflix, highly recommend it. But there's a really good documentary called Healing Vibration on there. And I know Rob would agree with this. The most healing vibration that you can hear is your own. And so, you know, this is why when you talk to yourself, you talk to your cells, you talk to your food, you pray on your food, you pray into your water. That's why it makes such a big difference.
December 16th. Yeah.
Okay, so shameless plug, December 16th, Vancouver, tickets on sale.
Yes. Awesome. I can't wait for that.
You're gonna have we want you to have a booth set up there talking to people, showing stuff, drinking water. So bring in a bunch of free.
Hey, Lisa. Gabby and I will be there for sure. Really looking forward to that. So Gabby wants to join me.
Something I haven't even heard of it. Have you heard of Somavedic for 5G and structuring water? I'm not sure what that is.
So I've heard of Somavedic before. I'm not entirely sure about the validity of it personally. For EMF and 5G protection, just so you know, when you're protecting yourself from 5G, it's the radiation from the EMF. There's EMF, we are EMFs. So it's the radiation that comes from it. I actually use and recommend a brand called Qi or QI WaveGuard. It's based out of Germany. I know the creator of that. And it's funny that you actually bring that up, Alexandra. Like he actually reached out to me a couple days ago and asked if I wanted to do some sort of campaign with his EMF protection. And I was thinking about it. I mean, I'm an H2 water expert. That's the most important part of me. But what you'll actually appreciate about their devices, Gary, is that in their devices they use easy water, just like the Nano V creates. Well, you're getting a little glitchy. Uh-oh. Oh no,
that was weird.
As soon as you bring up 5G, it starts getting all glitchy. Imagine that.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's me or if that's you. I'm gonna assume it's me because I'm in the jungle.
Yeah. I'm not to place a blame on anyone, but I think it might be you, just based on what happened yesterday.
So let's adjust our water. Let's get that change. So everybody, let's do a fashion reset. Let's do an energy reset. Standing or sitting, take your right leg, and you can do sitting as well. Put it over top of your left. Take your right arm, put it underneath your left armpit, left arm on top. Take your head to the left, your body to the right. We're going to take 6 breaths in sync everywhere in the world at the same time. So 3 through the mouth and 3 through the nose. 3, 2, 1 through the mouth. 2. 3. 'Through the nose. 2. 3.
Hey, look at that.
I got real quiet.
Look at that connection. I don't know about you, but I'm seeing my screen a lot clearer. That's actually what I'm looking forward to the most for the 16th. When we did that class, the 250 plus person class in the summer there, that just the energy was like palpable. You could actually feel it.
Yeah, it's actually, we did the one in Joshua Tree. It was like 10 times. There's an acceleration at me. It was literally 10 times.
Well, that's a chakra point in the planet is at Joshua Tree too. So you're getting added energy of that and all the nature that you're in. I mean, to feel the energy that we did in Vancouver in our concrete jungle where we were, we had the ocean water right beside us, but yeah, nothing's going to compare to Joshua Tree like that.
Okay, you started with, somebody said, what about Kangen water? You started with Kangen water. Nothing wrong with Kangen
Nope.
water. You just have to have a pre-filter, right?
Yeah, and so the two very main important things when it comes to Kangen water is absolutely make sure that you have a pre-filter wherever you are in the world. Their filtration only removes chlorine, so it doesn't matter where you are, you do need pre-filtration. And number two is just it comes with citric acid e-cleaner that you absolutely need to clean your machine on your own every 3 to 4 weeks. And then you have to make sure you send it to head office once a year to have them deep clean it. That's actually in your warranty if you read through that. And so that's the other than that, like personally, grateful for Kangen. I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for that. But it's just, I had to make different decisions for myself and my health.
Well, what I like for our point of view is I can't deal with maintenance because that causes a load and we don't have a big.
It's inconvenient.
Yeah, like what I like about the Alkaviva is the anode and the cathode switch every time so that it self-cleans.
Yeah, so the cathode attracts or scales calcium. That's where the hydrogen-rich alkaline water comes from. The anode repels the calcium. With the Alkaviva machine, it switches every single time you use it. By that happening, you're eliminating the possibility of calcium scaling, and it's an incredible technology to have inside your machine.
So somebody said any uses for the gray water, the water comes out. Absolutely, that's great water for plants.
Yep, great water for plants. You can actually use that for cooking if you want. Just have a 5-gallon jug that you feed the gray water.
Very line. I'm going to do that. That's going to save us. Well, I can only do that on that. Well, actually, no, I can do it the other way. That's going to save us a ton because we use it a lot because we have people coming through and filling up bottles. So we go through filters quite a bit, but. That's a great idea for cooking. I'm gonna make a whole water thing for cooking right by the stove. Just pour it in the stove. Perfect. I'm gonna do that now. That's a fantastic idea. I didn't think of that. Yeah,
because it's still filtered properly. Any water that comes out of the machine is gonna be filtered properly. Somebody asked if the Kangen machine self cleans also. Sort of. It does. It's a 25-to-1. Cleaning cycle. So every, I think 25 liters or so, it'll go through a cleaning cycle. But that isn't enough to prevent scaling. The acidic water is,
explain that. If it scales, you'll get alkalinity, but you won't get the hydrogen anymore.
100%. Any hydrogen that you are getting is done and you'll never get that back.
Alkalinity does not heal the body.
Exactly. The Alkaviva machine is 1-to-1. So every single time you use it, it's cleaning itself essentially. Jeannie, when they say the gray water, that's talking about the countertop machine. You have the Delphi, the under counter machine. It's the second hose or the second faucet that comes out, the bottom one that's below your main faucet.
I gotta tell you, like you said, I know I did it for aesthetics purposes, the first thing, but you told me, you said when you said, well, actually, the other one works better. And I'm like, yeah, but this one looks nice, and that's what I said. But I gotta tell you, I like using the countertop unit better.
I personally, and that's what I tell every single person is I personally like the countertop machine better. That's just a personal preference. A lot of people don't like any sort of clutter on the countertop. If that's the case, by all means, go with the Delphi and get the under counter unit. The other aspect to it is the Vesta or the countertop machines are easy to transport, so as you clearly know. So yeah,
somebody
both machines.
You ship anywhere in the world. I mean, you ship those parts into Mexico where we can't even put our supplements there. So yeah, I guess pretty much anywhere.
Yeah, I've got customers from Australia to Hawaii. And you know, I've got customers in Abu Dhabi. I've got relationships built with Alkaviva in Australia now, Alkaviva in the EU as well, and soon to be Alkaviva in India, because I know that's on your guys' navigation is going into India more.
We just gotta bump another level to the government so that we can go there without the visas.
Yeah,
we're at that stage.
It's good old, red tape, bureaucracy stuff. I totally understand that, but I'm looking forward to helping and serving people over there because there's a huge need. Anywhere in South America, that one, it's just a matter of getting it shipped from Alkaviva US down to South America. But yeah, absolutely, anywhere in the world I can ship to.
Okay, Shane, thank you very much. Today was a great talk. We covered
absolutely.
Topics. We covered the health of water. We covered machines. We covered different ways to do it. And they can go to H2 Water Experts. If you haven't done it, follow that, share the page, share the content on that page. There's lots of really good content, lots of carousels with information to help people understand more about hydrogen, water, or water in general. Thank you.
Yeah, and if you have any questions at all, message me. I'm happy to help you make an informed decision. I'm here to help. I appreciate you very much, Gary. Wish I was with you down there doing this with you, but and I'm glad that we were able to transition from Thirsty Thursdays into Filtered Fridays. But we'll see you. We'll do this again in a couple weeks and then see what we talk about then.
Okay, awesome, Shane. Thank you.